thing goes out, it'll come back. So hello everybody, it is me, Demetra K. We are here today on this beautiful Sunday with Donovan throwing rocks and hiding his hand, Sadiq. Also, big thank you to Marcus Guyton, who is helping to spread the message. So I want to say hello to those on Facebook, those on all the podcasts. We have Spreaker, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and Podbean. And eventually we'll be on YouTube. So hello to you guys on YouTube. And again to Facebook. If this feed kind of goes out a little bit, just stay tuned. It will come back. We got a lot of things going on here. So a lot of times it'll blink out. And so don't go away. It'll come back and I'll continue to talk and kind of refresh my points when it comes back. But hopefully we'll continue to go strong. And so hopefully you guys can see the topic at hand. It's called The Conversation Continues, which is a play on The Marathon Continues. I don't know if you guys caught that. We're going to continue to talk about Nipsey Hussle. I have some specific points that I do want to cover. And so hopefully you guys will have some things you want to cover as well. And so we'll go ahead and get started. I'd just like to also say the date. It is April 14th. 2019 at 3 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. Okay? And so, Donovan, what's going on with you?
Same old, just $1 trying to make a donut.
Is that all you trying to make?
That's all I'm trying to do.
Okay.
But what's going on with me? I put in a solar gable attic fan. If you guys want to do a reduction by 1 to 3% of your attic in your roof, that will help your AC and that will reduce your bill.
Got it. Mr. Handyman Donovan.
And I went solar. So, yeah, you're going to pay more money on the front end, but on the back end...
You're not doing your job.
On the back end, you will save a lot of money.
Donovan's not doing his job. He forgot to tell me I didn't have my microphone on.
Yeah,
and so anyway, Marcus has also included the link for you guys, for whatever reason, if you're not friends with me, for you guys to participate in the conversation, go ahead and click the link, and I'm assuming that'll make you able to do so. All right, so let me go ahead and get started. For the sake of time, the purpose of the Demetra K Show is to promote Black love, knowledge, and understanding of the things that go on in our community to make us an even better people. Okay, and so the topic at hand is The Conversation Continues in regards to Nipsey Hussle. And we're also going to be talking about the message to the black man. So I'm going to try to tie this all together, okay? So on last Thursday, April 11th, Nipsey Hussle's homegoing service was held at the Staples Center and broadcasted, if that's even a word, for the world to see, okay? Many people from all walks of life attended the emotional and uplifting service. In addition, many people got a chance to speak about the life and legacy of Nipsey Hussle. The majority of people that spoke about him ended their speech with the signature words of "The Marathon Continues," which is what his brand and all of that. Basically saying even though he's gone, the mission, the marathon will go on. Okay, and I'm gonna do my part to make sure that happens as much as I can. Okay, but we'll get into that. Now, a couple of weeks ago, T.I. was on Instagram Live talking about the death of Nipsey. A viewer asked T.I. to name a book that Nipsey recommended for him to read. And T.I. said that Nipsey suggested he read Message to the Black Man in America by the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. All right. Now, Message to the Black Man is considered to be one of the most prolific blueprints for Black America to follow. Reader's Digest called the Honorable Elijah Muhammad the most powerful man in America. Okay. Now, this was in 1965. Now, Cosmopolitan magazine said that Muhammad gives his followers the ineffable sense of power that binds them together. On page 222 of the Message to the Black Man, the following is written. Now, keeping in mind, like I said, this was written in 1965, or published anyway in 1965. Okay, so here are some excerpts from the book. So, you say that we cannot unite and produce our own necessities? We are 22 million or more people depending on the white American citizens to produce food, clothes, shelter, transportation, and employment of our educational training. Now, if they, white America, do not share equally with us, we charge them with discriminating. Some of us will go to the extreme of disgracing ourselves and trying to force the white American citizens to give equal respect. The love of self and self-respect, along with the will to do something for self, if given a chance, will get you the respect of all civilized nations, okay? It is a shame and disgrace to the intelligence of any people to lie at the feet and doorsteps of another nation asking and praying to be cared for. Love and unity of self and kind is the key to our salvation. If you say we cannot, you are wrong. We can unite, okay? Now, this is some more I kind of just went through because I've read it, and so I kind of like read it every once in a while just to kind of, refresh my memory of some things. And so here are just a few more excerpts from the book. What we must understand today is the importance of acquiring land of our own. America was not established and chartered with constitutional guarantees for the black man, but for the white man. In what other country on earth will you find 22 million people with the framework of another people's government seeking to become qualified citizens joyously singing the song of integration? Our people are the fools of the nation. Integration means self-destruction, and the means to this is exactly that, death and nothing less. What do we look like trying to integrate with 400-year-old enemies? The average so-called Negro wants to change his own flesh and color for his own flesh, color, and blood for strange blood and flesh. Now, of course, that's not all there is to the book, but I wanted to illustrate that I understood why Nipsey suggested T.I. read The Message to the Black Man. Okay. Now, Nipsey was doing many things for his people to help us unite. Angela Rye posted a graph, and actually Sydney, I don't know if he's on here, he actually shared it with me, and it was a graph that Angela Rye posted that illustrated all the things that he was doing. It is estimated that his ventures totaled over $200 million and hired and impacted at least 40,000 people not related to the music industry. Now, we've heard all about the business ventures he had, from clothing stores to a fish market. On a larger scale, he co-founded the STEM Academy, reopened World on Wheels, which is huge because anybody who's been to World on Wheels in Los Angeles, that was the place to go. When I was a kid in the 80s, we would go to World on Wheels, not necessarily to skate, but we went. Okay, so it was damaged in the 1992 LA riots, and so he reopened it up and all that other stuff. He started Our Opportunity, a coalition dedicated to developing properties and revamping neighborhoods across multiple cities, created cryptocurrency apps, and the list goes on and on. Now, in closing, Nipsey was following the blueprint that was set forth by many that came before him, including the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. So the question I have is, what are we going to do to continue building the late, great Nipsey Hussle's legacy and what he started? So let me go ahead and get you guys' questions. And also, I want to talk about something, because I watched the whole service on Thursday.
You must have been really bored with your time.
No, I actually wasn't bored. I was working.
Okay, gotcha.
But, I can do that.
Yeah, that's right.
I
forgot. Sorry.
I like to multitask, so I watched the whole thing, and so I took a lot of things away from the service, but one of them really stuck out to me, and I'll cover that, and that's in regards to Nipsey's parents and their dynamics, and so we'll talk about that just a little bit, so I want to get to you guys' comments. Okay, so Tay says, hey, what's happening?
Hey, Tay.
And then Marcus says, pin that link to comment so it'll be there every time. Okay, got it. See, this is the kind of stuff here that I'm still learning. Let's see, pin.
Learn as you go.
Bam. All right, I got you. All right, and so let's see. Thank you. And Ricky says, hey, D, how are you, Ricky? And James says, integration was nothing but infiltration. The beginning of the end of Black unity. A fight that I'm sure warrants think tanks yearly on how to keep us in the back seat. Absolutely. I mean, we are now, if you go on YouTube, you can find a whole host of things that talk about the strategies they took to keep us where we are. One of them, I recommended a movie to my brother who is now trying to wake up, which I'm glad. Was The Secret Selling of the to the Negro Market or something like that, where they had this, I'm sure it came out of a think tank, this strategy to get, at the time it was $15 billion that we were strong in the 1954 is what it was. We had $15 billion, which is a lot of money back then. And they said to themselves, the narrator's a white guy, was saying, they have a lot of money in their community and we need to figure out a way. They like the stuff we like too, and let's do this and let's do that. So they went about formulating. But even in 1954, we're still segregated, but they're like, that money don't need to be segregated though. And so we've just kind of been on the hook ever since, especially when it comes to our money. All right. And hey, Gina, what's happening? Thank you for my hair. It kind of shrunk. And yesterday was what we call wash day. Wash day. It sounds country wash day.
You put it in the zinc?
Did I put, no, I didn't put no zinc in it.
No. Did you put
the
wash in the zinc?
And I arranged it. And I arranged my hair out, yeah.
While drinking some orange.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, thank you, though. Thank you. And let's see. And Al says, I see you got flowers for your birthday on my shirt.
Oh, that's right. It was Dee's birthday yesterday, everybody. You are now 28.
28, yes.
Right on. 28.
Yes, but
happy birthday.
Thank you.
Yes.
So anyway, like I said, I wanted to continue talking about this because this is my fear, you guys. My fear is that we're going to forget about it like we forget about a lot of stuff that happens in our community. You know what I mean? Like, Nipsey wasn't perfect, and a lot of people didn't know anything about him at all up until the time that he died, and people start to learn a lot about him. But the fact that we know so much about him and what he was doing to revolutionize or to change it to help black people, his people, those things should never be forgotten. And as I said, we tend to forget about those things. We like have a habit of getting all hyped up or upset or whatever the case is about things that go on in our community, and then we go on to the next thing. Like, I'll give you guys an example, and thank you so much, Steve. Like, this is kind of where I've started to see the conversation go about Nipsey, and it makes me mad. And honestly, it does.
I'm going to say what I had to say, okay?
You know what? I wasn't talking about you, but since you brought it up, okay. Like, people want to start talking about him and Lauren not being married. Mm-hmm. Oh, she should have secured the bag. And that's her, she's stupid and all, like, why didn't they get married? And I'm like, you know what? For one thing, nobody knows but them why they didn't get married. And why is that our business? We're not going to benefit from any of his wills or any of that kind of stuff. And I'm like, is that where we're going to take it now? Are we going to take it now to what was going on in the dynamics of the relationship in the bedroom? And then I've seen somebody bring up the baby mama.
Do you think that the bastardization of black children is a problem, or do you think it's no big deal?
Well, see, this is my thing too. Where did the term marriage come from? I mean, is marriage... I get it because it has a whole lot of legal ramifications, but was he a bastard? I mean, his mom and dad were together. Maybe they didn't ascribe to what everybody else ascribed to as far as marriages go. Like, we don't know what their situation was in their relationship, why they weren't married. But to me, I'm in fear that kind of stuff is going to overshadow what he was trying to do, because unfortunately in our community, we get wrapped up into the salaciousness of what everybody's doing. Ooh, well, his baby mama wasn't involved. Like, I've seen people post that stuff like, what? Come on. Is that where we're going to go, like, to the gutter? Do you really care why his baby mama wasn't involved? They had the reasons.
Well, isn't that the same as Nene Leakes not wanting people to go into her closet?
I mean, I don't want to be in Nene's closet.
but that's what I'm saying. We like to be entertained.
Yeah, but it's like, not even that I'm trying to bring it up, because to me, it's neither here or there why they didn't get married. He obviously loved her and they had their thing, and it's not our business. But let's not let that kind of stuff overshadow his work. Like, we need to stop doing the garbage gutter stuff in our community of, like, trying to get in the dirt, like the Wendy Williams, just tabloid Inquirer, and I'm dating myself, magazine type of stuff. Like, that is such low-hanging fruit. Do we really care that much? I mean, and if we really care about the well-being of Lauren London and the kids, Reggie Bush started a GoFundMe. He did. And not that I don't even think they need it, but he started a GoFundMe for them and donated $10,000 off the rip himself. And so if you're concerned of the state of Nipsey and Lauren's children, then go to the GoFundMe and donate.
Okay, let me ask you this. I'm just playing devil's advocate. I like you do me.
You want your lunch ate?
Yes, I want my lunch ate. Now check this out. If he's making so much money, and it's factual that he did a lot in the community, why does he need a GoFundMe?
Who says he needs a GoFundMe? Maybe that's something Reggie is doing on his own. Doesn't sound like. I mean, come on. The man has money.
No,
Lauren has money.
I'm not down that.
Maybe he just felt like it was the right thing to do. Their father is not going to be here to, do whatever.
But why do a GoFundMe?
And you have to ask Reggie for that.
Okay.
Because obviously Nipsey didn't ask him to. You know what I mean? So,
gotcha.
I mean, maybe it's just a show of love. I don't know. Just like most time when people die, people give cards with money and stuff. So I don't know what Reggie's reasoning is. And then Ricky says, you're right about everything. Also, your hair looks pretty like chocolate sugar flowers. Oh, Ricky, thank you so much. And Marcus says, I am just curious to see where the commitment to his legacy and sacrifice is at in just 90 days from now. You know what, Marcus? Screw the 90 days. How about 9 days from now? I'm willing to even say 9 days because it's just unfortunate in our community. Things disappear. And it has like a shelf life with us. You know what I mean? But something like this, because I know a lot of people are like, oh my God, we're still talking about Nipsey. We're going to continue to talk about Nipsey. Because as far as I'm concerned, and some people will probably disagree with me, I classify him with your Marcus Garveys, with your Elijah Muhammad's, your Malcolm X's, your Martin Luther King's. I categorize him with those people simply because he was following the blueprint, like to the T. He didn't, go off for himself. He was trying to uplift his people because he saw where we were going. So
yeah, a lot of people in messages and comments were saying that, and I was reading on during the funeral and stuff like that. He was stupid to stay in the neighborhood, and you're supposed to, when you make it, you're supposed to get out, and you're not supposed to stay. What is your thoughts on that?
I feel like that's a personal decision. I mean, if somebody was going to get him, I think they were probably going to do that wherever he was, but. He stayed in the neighborhood, building and uplifting the neighborhood. It wasn't like he was just hanging out. He was like working. And so, I mean, if I had the type of money Nipsey had and I was in the neighborhood, I would probably stay too. I mean, I'm just keeping it real. It's like, and it sounds like he stayed because he loved his people. He loved this neighborhood and the city. So that's why he stayed.
So let me ask you this, devil's advocate. If you're a successful person, actress, doctor, lawyer, whatever, and you come from 5th Ward, Houston, let's say, or 9th Ward, Louisiana, somewhere, which doesn't exist anymore because of the flood. So you're saying you just go ahead and stay and make your community better?
Why not? Does money and a title make you better than your people?
Well, you see them running around with Mercedes and all this Nikes and all that other stuff.
But does that make you better, though? Why not stay and fix the
I got Jordan, so it obviously makes me a better basketball player.
You can be in Beverly Hills and be stuck up, or somebody stick you up for your car or your money.
I will give my kids $400 Jordans because it's going to make them better basketball players.
Well, we know that's not true, though.
That's my point.
Yeah, but so when you move out of the neighborhood, I mean, you become something. The only thing is different is money and a title, And Lavinia, what's happening? You say it does not matter whether they were married or not. Yeah, I agree with that. It's like, why are we going there? Because I've seen people on YouTube, especially, trying to make a conversation about Lauren and she's being stupid, not securing bag, and it's like, and then this is probably coming, and then some chick was talking about how she's slept around. I'm like, really? Like this man has lost his life being a soldier on the front line, and y'all want to try to tear this woman down?
That doesn't matter. But again, I personally, this is Donovan speaking. We have a problem in our community where 70% of our black women are not married versus white people. You flip it, it's almost the exact opposite. And I'm not saying that they had to get married. That ain't what we're saying. But the thing is, if you're going to be, this is the love of your life. And I say this to all young people all the time when I meet them. If it doesn't work out, they have a thing called divorce.
Maybe some people, like, again, they don't ascribe to that system of being married. There's people been together for 30, 40 years and have never been married. But
here's the sad thing. This man is dead now, right?
Yeah.
This woman cannot make any decisions when it comes to his body.
Okay, well, I mean, maybe she had. I mean, you don't know what they had written up. See, that
doesn't matter legally.
It does matter.
It does not.
Hold on a second.
No, go ahead. Go to your point.
You know, the point that I'm making is like we are voyeuristic now. We are trying to get inside of what these people might or might not been doing, and I guess it makes for good discussion or gossip. But you don't know what they had legally written up with last will and testament. We don't know. We have no idea. Like I had a good friend die last year, and he let his brother, which was not his next of kin, do all of his medical directives and stuff. You know, so he was able to call the shots, even though he wasn't the next of kin.
Living will. Yeah, he did a living will. That's different.
So, but we don't know what they had going on. But to run her low after all she's gone through in the last 2 weeks, I just think that's very shitty for people to do. And then let's see. Marcus says, I think all too often many who know better allow those who want to move on to simply move on. Sometimes we have to change the conversation and not allow it to be to change back. No, absolutely. And, I've made a vow on my page. Let me get to the rest of you guys' comments on my personal page because all I really do is Facebook. And I made this statement because I'm not one of those people like, I'm getting ready to delete people. I just basically said, from now on, people who are anti-Black unity, I will be deleting them. I'm going to dissociate myself from that because that is against what we're trying to do.
So we're not going to have this Demetrius K show anymore?
You probably won't be on it. I'm just playing. But we can't say that we're for Black unity and associate with people who are not.
True.
We have a lot of provocateurs, if you will, who are doing it for the likes and the comments and the views or whatever the case is. They're not really interested in Black unity. They're only interested in the attention. And so you can say water is wet. And they'll say, well, no, it's not because, I've proven it scientifically in this pseudoscience. And it's just like muddying the waters. Like Black people don't need any more muddy waters.
Right.
We need the water to start to get clear. And we have these agents and these just detractors from what we need to do, constantly throwing mud in the water. We need to get rid of those, not get rid of those people, but at least just associate from them for now until they get their stuff together. And Al says, didn't I say the same thing the other day? And what was that? Because I ran my mouth. And Ricky, you say, when he was in that interview, he said, if they kill me, ride for me. I knew something was going to happen. I cannot describe the silence that whiffed through the house. I was scared as I was scared as I had ever been. And I saw that interview as well. Because somebody had made the comment about they might do something to you in regards to him making the Dr. Sebi documentary. And that's when he said, well, if something happens to me, you guys better ride for me.
Right.
And so maybe he knew, he was, because there's a lot of conspiracy theories going around that he was killed due to the Dr. Sebi thing and a whole host of things. Maybe he was set up. And so, maybe he knew something we didn't, And on the Breakfast Club interview, Charlamagne asked him about it. Why did he being Nipsey, believed that Dr. Sebi was murdered? And he says, well, why did they murder all holistic doctors? There's been a lot of them come up murdered.
Exactly.
So he says, you're stopping their money, so they don't want you to do that. If you heal people, then there's no need to go to the doctor, right?
Exactly.
It's follow the bouncing ball. And Lavinia, you said the people who object to their living arrangement need to mind their own business. Like, absolutely. You know what, Lavinia? The crazy part about these people who are all up in their business probably got a whole host of baby daddies and mamas that they ain't even with. And ain't married not one of them.
Okay, look. I told you about that in faith.
I wasn't talking about you,
all right.
okay? What?
Guilty conscience, yes.
The one that rock is thrown into the crowd, the one that hollers is the one that got hit. So, sorry. Didn't mean to hit you.
Right, gotcha.
So, we need to stay away from that kind of conversation. I know that some people will do it. And like I said, I just made it a personal thing for me. You guys know, I turned 48 yesterday. I turned 48 yesterday. And so, but the day before that, I did a lot of reflecting. And I said to myself, okay, D, you don't want to go another year staying on the same level. You want to take it up a notch. You're 48. You want to really just get out there and kick ass. And so I had to also ask, well, how am I going to do that? I got to personally get rid of a lot of distractions. And one of those things are when I go on Facebook, I don't want to see, and it's just my personal decision, I don't want to see a lot of things that are harming us as black people, especially, on the internet. A lot of times people believe any and everything.
Yes.
If you write it up just nice and you say it the right way, it sounds very plausible.
Well, Abraham Lincoln always said anything on the internet is true.
It must be true. If it's on the internet, it must be true, right?
Abraham Lincoln said that, 1865.
Right. And so we need to get rid of, that, I call it like a cancer. Those people are not interested in continuing the conversation or even continuing the marathon. If you want to go there, they're not interested in that. They're just personally interested in elevating themselves to what I don't know. And the crazy part is they have a lot of people who follow them. Mm-hmm. So I'm just not going to be one of them. And James, he said, that's right. Everybody ain't going to make it. Time to move away from people just running their mouth and detracting others from moving forward. And yes, kick ass. Happy belated. Yes, thank you so much. Yeah, we all need to be kicking ass. Mm-hmm. Now, I ain't talking, sometimes you do got to kick a little ass physically.
Literally. Yes,
yeah, but
literally.
I'm saying, like, in life, we got to start kicking ass, in order to get where we got to go. Not even just personally, but to help our people, because, we talk about this a lot. We are, like, bad off. I don't even know if bad off is, like, this is the strongest word I can think of right now, but we are bad off. And we don't need to be. And so when I read the passages from the Message to the Black Man, that was written in 1965. Back then, we were 22 million people. Now we are 42 million plus people. And we're still in the same situation. Sort of, kind of, Mm-hmm. Well, not even sort of, kind of, we are. We're still begging for acceptance from the oppressor, trying to fit in and praying. There's the whole thing that he talked about. Like, why are we still doing those things, And let's see. Gloria, what's happening? Says, I think Nipsey Hussle should be the bar by which many men measure themselves by. He never enjoyed the success of Jay-Z or a Drake, but yet he was still able to move like a boss. Based on his ability to learn new things and study, he made lemonade out of lemons he had and was able to sell them on his own corners without leaving his own hood behind. Yes. And so I'm glad you said that, because to, Donovan's question, a lot of people say, well, why didn't he leave? Why am I going to leave? These are my people. This is what, and I think I missed one of, I think I did. Yes, Al's comments, because he's going to be mad at me. But, he did those things. He had a lot of adversity. If you guys watched the funeral, his brother talked about the struggle that they went through to keep the shop that they had. Said they had an eviction notice and they were going to get kicked out. The police came and somehow they got offered the opportunity to buy the shop where they were operating out of. And he said they did everything they could. Him and his brother, and I guess the business partner at the time, who was now deceased, he was murdered as well, did everything they could to get the money to buy the shop, and they did. And the rest is history. So, at some point in time, we have to stop making excuses. Stop saying we need to leave the neighborhood. What you going to leave the neighborhood and do? Go be among people who don't want to be among you? What are you going to do? And then, Al, I did skip your comment, but I went back to it. You said, wasn't Omarosa in the same situation when Michael Clark Duncan passed? It sounds like she was.
Yeah, she was a fiance at the time. They hadn't gotten married yet.
She was. They hadn't gotten married yet, so maybe there was a little something to that. Like, everybody's situation is different. Everybody's situation is different. We don't know what their situation is. Lauren hasn't complained about it. I guess we're all waiting for TMZ to come out and say, oh, she was cut out of the will. Or, like we're looking for that kind of stuff so we can say, we told you she was stupid, girl. She should have secured the bag. He didn't really love her. So because that's what we really want to go with this. He didn't really love. That's just sick. And so, let's see. And Alice says, people have the same temerity to criticize because they don't know Nipsey's music, but their kids have all have Jordan shoes and never saw him play basketball. Well, yeah, like, I don't have a problem with you having Jordans, but I do have a problem with you having Jordans if your other stuff is not together. I don't want you to ever have your kids and you have on Jordans and then you come ask me for money. That's when I'm going to have a problem. Or you have these things and then God forbid somebody does die, you don't have life insurance. That's when I'm going to, raise my eyebrow. But I mean, just because you have Jordans don't mean you don't have your stuff together. But, we know a lot of times the contrary is true. And so Marcus says, no, Queen, we are beyond bad off. See, I was trying to be nice. He says, we are scraping the bottom of the barrel for scrapes and trying to act like we are still eating steak. We have reached a place where we fear the responsibility of helping ourselves. Yes, and I think it's fear, and I just think we really don't know how to help ourselves. We've been so dependent for a long time, and not always, because like I said, my brother, who was enlightening himself, if you will, he told me, because I was watching a lot of documentaries and stuff on Black Wall Street, and he was just blown away by that. And I said, see, because not to throw him out there, but he's one of those people that have the ideology of, we just need to pull ourselves up by the bootstraps. Black people are always complaining. But when he starts to see those type of things, he's like, oh. So there is a little bit more to it than us just being lazy. Like I was calculating. So the point that I'm making is we weren't always at the bottom of the barrel, as you would say. We were on a mission. We had our own thing going. We were happy. We were functioning. We were segregated. Which, fine, most communities are still segregated, whether we know it or not, but we were functioning. So we have just been so dependent after that. I think we've just really forgotten how to help ourselves, right? And then Gloria says, we need to ask why Nipsey did not leave. He said we don't. I don't know why I keep forgetting to see the word don't. We don't need to ask why Nipsey did not leave the hood. Instead, we need to ask why the hood did not protect Nipsey. Why the hood did not step up and benefit more from the guidance of Nipsey. Absolutely, because that's a question I've heard too, or a statement is that he should have been protected more. But it just, obviously he didn't anticipate, his name was Shitty Cuz. Yeah. To come out and do something like that,
Quick question. Nipsey.
But I agree with you.
Nipsey was in South Central, correct? Mm-hmm. What area?
Slauson, Crenshaw.
In Slauson, Crenshaw. So kind of near Ingle Watts in that area, tap down like that. That is Aunt Maxine's area, correct?
South Central is Maxine Waters.
All the gentrification is happening, and Maxine ain't saying a word about it.
You know what's crazy? I don't know if Maxine Waters has said anything about it, but
because here's a guy that was doing something in the community. You would think that Aunt Maxine, since she's so down for Black folks, been working on reparations for 30 years, we haven't seen any paper of her progress. She would have worked with Nipsey and made some of these programs available to the community. I've never heard
him say anything. I'm not saying she hasn't, but I've never heard him say anything about Maxine Waters. That's a good observation. I'm interested in knowing if Maxine Waters and Nipsey ever cross paths or work together. Hey, Erica.
I doubt that.
Hello, Demetria. Off topic, but you look bomb. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much.
I really doubt that because obviously she's been too busy enriching herself over her constituents.
It's interesting. We should check it out, But... So yeah, we need to keep this conversation going. We should never ever stop talking about it. We should do our very best. Like I know a lot of celebrities like The Game, Meek Mills, and a whole host of other celebrities actually went to the store and bought everything. Bought everything out of the store. I think that's really just kind of their way of maybe helping to support. Obviously, helping to support what's going on, but I made this comment to somebody else, and I actually went on his site, and there's a lot of shirts on there for $25, $35, or whatever. We pay that, all day long for other people's stuff. But he has some shirts on the one I really want. The all money in one is $100, and the person said, "Oh, dang, that's a lot of money." And I said, "Yeah, for a T-shirt, it is probably a lot of money, but a lot of money in comparison to what? The Gucci shirt you'll probably buy."
What are those? Pants that the guys out there, the leather pants that they like to wear. The Spanx. The Spanx
the skinny
pants.
Jeans.
Yeah, the skinny.
Right. I mean, in comparison to what? I mean, we spend money, a whole lot of money on things all day long, and we don't complain, but it's, one of our things is like, shit, that's a lot of money. But,
we want the silk screen knockoff.
Right. But, we should do our best to keep what he was doing alive. I'm quite sure his brother, who was his business partner, will continue to do it. Lauren and his dad was very instrumental in the stuff that he was doing. So I'm sure they're just not going to throw their hands up and say, moving on, right? And Lavinia says, I cannot find anything on Maxine and Nipsey on the net. So, I mean, that's a really good observation because that is her district.
That is her district.
Like, even in his death, I didn't see her say anything about it.
Did she even attend the funeral?
I don't know if she attended the funeral.
But yet we keep voting for these people who are not representing us or trying to get us into a better position. Like I said, Maxine got elected on reparations. Now here it is 30 years later, and reparations is a fixture.
Is she even saying anything about reparations now? Meaning that is so hotly contested.
Not a word.
It's crazy. It's crazy. Maybe she's going to let everybody else do the heavy lifting. I don't know.
After 30 years, I think she's kind of tired because she's been working so hard on it.
Okay. And Tay says the $100 shirt gives you access to the music for free. Absolutely. You can get the app and you wave it's neat. You wave your phone, the app over the marathon logo, and you can see videos.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, videos or music plays. I was tripping out like, wow. So it is said that he has the first smart store ever.
Okay.
Where, you purchase
in South Central LA. Wow.
In South Central LA. Yeah. And Al says Maxine wasn't trying to nip it in the bud. You crazy. And Erica says his clothing has technology built in. Yeah, I was tripping off on that when I actually, because when I read about it, I was like, well, how does that work? But then when I saw it, you actually see a video moving when you put the phone in the app over.
Can I ask this? I don't know if you guys know the answer. The people that manufactured his clothes, were those people in South Central, or maybe did he go to another country or had a deal?
How deep, it went.
Yeah, and I'm not trying to make it an issue. I'm just saying. I'm just wondering because if it would have been somebody from South Central, wow,
right,
that's awesome.
And then, and I'll tell you something about the funeral too as well in just a second. And Tay says the shirt comes with a QR code that you can scan, and it allows you to have his music and some unreleased tracks. Yes. And then Erica says free music and or video. Yeah, okay. So I did see that. So in regards to like black stuff, the funeral, it is said that as much as they could, they had black businesses or people, whatever, orchestrating the funeral. So he was buried and taken care of and stuff by Angelus Black Funeral Home, which is a famous one out there.
Him being of Somali descent, did he be buried in the Somali tradition or...
Nobody. He was Eritrean.
Okay.
Yeah, but nobody. It was private. Obviously, TMZ showed up there, so you couldn't really see how they were doing it. But
okay.
They said that they had NOI, Nation of Islam, doing security, and the police kind of came secondary, and just a whole host of other things they tried to do to keep it all black oriented. So let's see.
So Lori Loughlin didn't show up to the funeral?
Who?
The mom that got into the USC thing. Because she's down.
Okay, Aunt Becky.
And
Marcus says, we way too often allow ineffective leadership to represent the black community. Yes. They give great speeches and receive great applause for things they say that fall on deaf ears when it comes time to act upon them. Yeah. Well, yeah, it's true. You
see Cory Booker, I'm going to win it with love.
And that's another thing, too, I saw a lot of people saying about Nipsey, is that he did a lot, he did more than a lot of politicians did. As to your point, Marcus, we have a lot of people who say a lot of stuff. And the crazy part is, he was what some people would say kind of moving in silence, because a lot of people never even heard of him until he died. It was like, wow, he was doing that, he was doing this. Oh, my God, who knew? It was even to the point to where Fat Burgers out there was using his logo, his clothing logo on their uniforms.
Wow.
Yeah, so he had made a franchise deal with them. Also, he's got something coming in the fall of 2019 with Puma and his clothing brand. So, he was making connections. Yeah, it's like, y'all in the neighborhood, I'm in the neighborhood, let's put the clothes together.
Well, I got to give him props for this, because it's just, in the music industry, I know we think we're going to live forever. Like I said, not many people could be living on this earth for 48 years and only be 28 years old like yourself.
Right, Benjamin Button.
But the music industry changes. Your music's going to fade out, and those buyers that were buying when you were hot are eventually going to get older, and your music's going to, slowly decrease. And this guy seems like he was like, okay, I'm hot now as a rapper, but I got to think about
Because that's what a lot of people were saying, he was more than a rapper. Right. Now you hear more about, and then of course his music is now on the chart. His album, The Victory Lap, peaked at number 2 again. And then he has, singles and stuff throughout the Billboard 200 again. Obviously,
And who knows how many masters he has, like Prince,
right?
locked
And that's
away.
what they were saying. How much did he actually
Record.
still have? Because then you have a lot of different celebrities come out and say, "Oh my God, we were supposed to record. We was going to do this summer and this, that, and the other." So he had a lot going on. And Lavinia said she would look that up too. I think in regards to if Maxine was there.
Awesome.
And Erica says students from his STEM program, I believe. Also, she's thinking that the students from the STEM program that he has came up with the codes and stuff.
Okay, right on.
Awesome. Okay. Which, why wouldn't they be able to, right?
Yeah,
That's
exactly. And
stuff.
but the reason I brought that up is because in this country we are depicted as we are sitting on our hands doing absolutely nothing. Our children ain't shit. We ain't shit.
Depiction.
Yeah, the depiction of it.
Right.
And that's why I was like, I wondered if not only did he open a shop in the thing, he employed the people and gave them the technology. Like I said, if I'm a young kid and let's say I'm a gamer, God forbid.
Right.
Where are platforms for these kids to enhance their gaming experience, or not just the game, because in the military right now, flying those drones, they need people who know how to play those kind of video games.
Right.
It's very technical, and he gave that platform to those kids.
Absolutely.
So big up to him.
That's what he was trying to do. He said he was trying to bridge the gap between the neighborhood and Silicon Valley.
Right. There you go.
By giving them those skills.
I just get tired of them always depicting us like we ain't shit, we ain't.
Well,
we started civilization. So how did that narrative get flipped?
Right.
So easy.
That's why it's called the false idea of white supremacy. And Al says, Montrezl Harrell of the Clippers will auction his shoes after the playoffs with the money going to Nipsey. He put Nipsey's kids.
Awesome.
I don't know if you saw the shoes. He had some designer make them. It had Nipsey Hussle on the shoes and the kid's name and Lauren's name. It was just an awesome pair of tennis shoes, I might say. But,
can I ask, what is Mr. Carter doing in regards to
Jay-Z?
No. What's his name? Lauren, baby daddy before that.
Lil Wayne?
Lil Wayne, yeah. I mean, is he... I mean, obviously he shared kids with this...
Lauren London, they have a child together. Huh?
So this man was a stepfather to his son.
Correct.
And so on. So I wonder what the dynamics of that are. What maybe Lil Wayne, because Wayne's got a lot of money. Maybe he might help continue that legacy.
Maybe. I mean, I haven't heard anything about Lil Wayne, but it's from what I think the little boy's name is Cameron. I might have it wrong, but he spoke at the funeral and he talked about how Nipsey would refer to him. He called him Ermias.
Okay.
How he would refer to him, say, "What's up, killer?" And he said he actually had a dream about him. Wow. After he died, and said that he is in paradise, and he's okay.
Well, that's false, but go ahead.
Well, I'm telling you what the little boy said.
Yeah, that's false, though.
Why is that false?
Because no man has ascended into heaven except Jesus himself, because we haven't had judgment day.
Well, he said paradise. He didn't say heaven. How you know paradise ain't in the lakes of Minnetonka some damn way?
Right. According to Jesus, even when Lazarus came back, he raised Lazarus. He didn't say, "I just came from paradise."
See, if you thinking about the white man's paradise, which is heaven.
No.
Okay,
heaven could be right here.
Right. So you don't know where he was talking about when he said paradise, but that's what he said. Okay. He said he was in paradise. Okay. So if we follow the white man's narrative, then
nobody's come back from death.
Well, I mean, you don't know.
Well, then again, I don't know. Your mom just sent us a message before we started the show.
You were right. So hey, and hey, D say his mom is so dope. Yes, and I want to talk about his mom. I wrote this down. I want to talk about his mother. And then Tay says, I don't know where the clothes are made, but the designer is black.
Awesome.
Okay. And Al says, I was asked, did I like any of Hustle's music? I said, you damn nippy. Oh, you can say.
I almost spit out my damn tea. I almost spit it out. Quit it.
Marcus says the problem with not knowing the value of Nipsey Hussle is that we do not spotlight our own until they reach a certain status.
Yeah, sad.
Until they reach a certain status. I can't see that in the comment for some reason. Okay, until they reach a certain status, we have to be willing to learn where we can lend our support to those who are really boots on the ground. Absolutely. I mean, I think a lot of people who lived in Los Angeles knew, but a lot of people outside didn't really know the magnitude in which he was moving around, you know. But we know now, and, they say you can kill the man, but you can't kill his ideas.
Absolutely.
And so his ideas will always be here as long as we continue to move in that and start working together, because he saw what was going on. Me and Donovan were just talking about this before we came on. There's a neighborhood in Inglewood that is gentrified to the point, what are they, revamping the Forum or something like that?
They're building that new Rams stadium there.
And the people, like, there's an article of this man, black man, who was paying $800 something dollars a month.
It's on YouTube as well.
Yeah, and then now he's living with the sister because his rent went up to $1,700, and he's on Social Security, fixed income, and they